Hello and welcome, I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. Let's continue our campaign in the Last Federation. So we've just done the first mission, and now we're posed with two available quests. There's lots of text in this game. If you like games that have lots of numbers and allow you to really get involved in the nitty-gritty, this is a great game for you. So, Boreen Military has a secret proposal to gain spacefaring tech. It expires in 10 minutes 36 seconds. This isn't real time, so we have a lot of time to consider doing it. The Boreen, okay, so this is the Defense Minister Specimen 3003. We are currently working to gain the technology of manned spaceflight. This is some sort of military operation. There is some sort of military operation going on in our upper atmosphere involving races that are already spacefaring. They seem to have found some sort of abandoned technology of yours, the Hydrals, and as best as I can tell from the radio chatter. If you swoop in and manage to crash at least one of their flagships into our planet, we can use their technology to get ourselves into space. Nobody will realize that you made this deal with us. They will simply think you were trying to reclaim your lost tech. And if you destroy them all, who knows, maybe you can get the lost tech. So computer report, this race is the most suited to their planet out of the remaining races that are not yet spacefaring. They would likely make a very good ally. So if won, plus 50 influence of the Boreens, gift of spacefaring tech, now currently at negative 15. If we kill all enemy flagships, we also will gain a Hydral tech, and the Boreen race will become spacefaring. If lost, ignored, or we take the other contract, we will lose 5 influence of the Boreens. Quest number 2. Q72U wants terraforming specs. Oh hi, I am Q72U, and I am trying to do something about a little situation we have here. Our civilization may be utopian, but our planet is far from it. We are extremely ill-suited for the planet on which we are stuck, and this will hinder us forever. Since we refuse wars of aggression, we will never leave our homeworld, and will likely be exterminated. If you deliver space specs that will help us build a terraformer, our compatibility with this planet will increase by 0.5. That may not sound like much, but to us it is huge. This computer is the least suited to their planet out of all remaining races that are not yet spacefaring. Looking at the numbers on the solar map overlay, do you think the improvement of 0.5 will be enough to make them a worthwhile ally? And even if it does, can we trust them not to take over half the solar system with their increased power? So if won, we will gain 80 influence with the Andors. We will build 5 units of terraforming kits on Andor. Terraforming kit Andor on Sarash from technical specs that we will provide. If lost, ignored, or other contract taken, minus 15 influence of the Andors. So again, if we take the Boreen quest, we piss off the Andors. So if we take this one, we piss off the Boreens. Boreens, to understand like what's going on, we need to learn more about these races and decide if it's a good idea. So first thing I want to do is pull up the logbook. Just a friendly note, because I suspect you may be the paranoid type, you don't need to hit the pause button before going into menus. The solar map stops when you're not looking at it. It's great. Okay, so I want to read this thing again because it gave us a tip. It said, a humble suggestion is that you start by delivering space tech to the Skylaxians, Andors, and/or Peltians, because apparently they make for good allies or something. However, those aren't our missions, so we've got to decide, like, it's completely up to us what we do. We could just try to help people, we could try to kill people, we could attack people, we could do whatever we want. It's kind of open world. Let's go learn a little bit more about the Boreens and the Andor. So let's find the Andor. Boreen homeworld is here. So let's go here. That took like 1 second. We'll go to details of the planet. Apparently we have to click all these now. That's new. Alright, so read about the Boreens. I want to learn about them. Owner detail. Owner. Boreens. Solitary beastly loners. Good in a fight, but their solitary nature leads to rather thin populations. Usually not one of the major players in the solar system, but if you can convince them of the virtues of a federation, they can be a good way to backdoor in other races. So we have no informant, no diplomat. That's totally fine. We'll uncover these features later as we go. So basically the Boreens are solitary and they're good in combat. Okay? And let's go learn about the Q72U. This is the Andors. Okay? The Cutians are the ones that hate us. You can see these numbers here. That's influence, negative 102. So Skylaxians, Peltians. Oh, right there, the Cutians. No, we're looking for Andor. I'm sorry. swear I know how to play this game. There we go. Alright, so we're currently at negative 11. They will be spacefaring in 1 hour, 42 minutes, 48 seconds. Oh, we don't actually have to travel here. We can just right-click to learn more information about them, but... Feeling friendly, that's the spirit. If you're going to form a solar federation, you're going to have to make some friends. Credit is super important. This is your social currency, so to speak. Doing things for races that they appreciate, or in some cases doing things that intimidates a race, gain you more credit. You can then spend credit with almost any race to get them to do what you want, or with mercenaries. Credit is basically money, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. But be warned, sometimes there are no friendly actions you can take with a race. Either you don't have anything to offer them, or they simply hate you too much to accept even needed help. This is one of the many reasons that your influence with races is so important. Depending on the actions you take, your influence with a race goes up and down. High influence makes them more likely to cooperate. Low influence makes them more likely to try to kill you. Okay, so friendly acts. This is some of the friendly acts that are available. We can hire a diplomat, which costs us 10 credit. Or we could do friendly intervention. Give them spacefaring tech. Make them spacefaring. Gain 5,000 credit. What I actually want to do is I want to learn about them. A utopian society of robots. They are peaceable and benevolent, and will never try to take a planet from another race. They will fight for a variety of reasons, but they can also be relied on to send aid where it is needed. So what do we want to do? Do we want to try to make the Andor more suitable for their planet? That's this number here, 0.42. We'd be bumping their suitability up by 0.5. So basically, I believe 1 is like a good number. Anything above 1 is good. Or do we want to help out the Boreen, who are very suitable for their planet? Plus 1. 1 plus is good, less than 1 is bad. This is how compatible the inhabitants are with the planet. Each race is better suited to some planet types than others, and this has a major impact on how well they are able to do. How fast they build things, how well their population grows, and so on. Right-click the planet and hover over this detail for more info. So let's find that. Okay. Every 1 environmental RCI above 50, compatibility goes up by 0.02. So every 1 environmental that's not exposed to us yet, because we're still kind of in a tutorial right now. Burlusts on an ice world, or Boreens on a molten world, for instance, will do very badly. Okay, so we gotta make a decision here. I think I want to go with the, I don't like the fact that the Boreens are solitary, so I'd rather help out the Andors. And I think, if I remember correctly, the Andors was one of the people that it recommended I try to help out, right? Yeah. Deliver spacefaring tech to the Andors. Well, I don't know if I want to do that just yet, but we will make the Andors like us. So let's go to this. We're going to do the, we got to click up here. So we click up here. We will accept and begin quest. First time delivering technical documents. Oi! Okay, so some stuff just got real, maybe. This is either going to be incredibly easy or impossibly hard depending on how many races are already spacefaring. Just be careful of alerting those spy probes and make your way to the drop zone, and that's it. The turrets have limited firing arcs, so if you maneuver cleverly and are a bit lucky, and not many races are spacefaring, you might be able to complete this in just a couple turns without firing any shots. If that's the case, more power to you. Each one of these gets harder as you go, so enjoy the ease while it lasts. So we're not delivering spacefaring tech, we're just trying to go from here to there and avoid getting shot at. So what we're going to do is we're going to depower the weapon, we're going to fully power the thing, we're just going to like go way maneuverability. This gives us a huge travel arc, and yeah, we're going to click there, we're going to go hold fire, because I don't actually want to shoot at anybody. I don't want to expose myself and like get caught. There's no real reason to shoot these things down. A laser pod. So that thing will actually do some damage. This is a wall turret. So we're going to get shot at by that thing no matter what. Let's try to avoid this one though. So we'll actually head like this way. And now we're going to go this way. And we'll head up into here. Oh, we got hit! Okay, but we can make a straight beeline for it now, and any other hits we take, I don't think it'll be a big deal. Pod successfully jettisoned with technical documents. Okay, took 5 turns. You took a total of 40,000 shield damage, no hull damage. You destroyed 0 ships. This action took 0.15 solar months, 3 seconds of relative time. So we did lose 5 influence with the Boreans because we refused to answer their quest. But we gained 80 influence with the Andors, and we built 5 terraforming kit Andor on Sarash from the technical specs. So now we're 69 influence, or favored. So we did not get caught. Notice how we didn't kill any ships, we only got a couple hits in, and we didn't lose influence with other people for helping the Andors. Now their influence, or sorry, their, whatever this thing's called, the compatibility is at 0.92. So that's good for them. And now we're kind of up in the air. Like, we can do whatever we want. Like, I don't have any quests. We could go help out somebody who's about to become spacefaring. Akantha, the Thoraxian homeworld. Now here's something that I feel like makes a lot of sense. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an expert on this game, but these guys are going to become spacefaring in 5 seconds. 5 seconds they'll become spacefaring on their own. But if we go here, we still have 4 seconds remaining, and then we can click on it and we can deliver spacefaring tech to them 4 seconds early and gain 5,000 credit. Seems like a lot. Seems like a good idea to me. And since they're going to become spacefaring anyway, we might as well. Your race has long possessed the secret of spaceflight, and it is yours to bestow where you will. This race will eventually reach the stars on their own, but granting it to them early will make them very grateful by 4 seconds. Not only will you gain a lot of influence, but you will get a huge windfall of credit, 50 influence, and that's fine. If we get caught, the Acutians will not like it at all. The Acutians are the ones that hate us. They're not the Andor that we just tried to help out. So we just have to not get caught. But let's do it. Same type of mission as before. We need to just try to navigate past these little buoys and get down there. This is just, there's a straight shot. We just drive right there. Just zip zip, just fly down there. Notice how the second turn we're able to move a lot further? That's because there's a concept in this game, like it's called momentum. As your ship is moving in a straight line, you actually have speed, so we just drive, that was pretty easy, right? Just drive right in.
The Thraxians are now spacefaring. Searching dictionary for a phrase more urgent than extreme danger. Done. Imminent doom is today's advisory.
Oh, really? Well, maybe that wasn't a good idea. But then again, I'd honestly rather that they like us if they're going to become spacefaring anyway. So hey, there's a new button under your basic info tab on the solar map. It shows what technologies you and all other races have researched. By the way, don't worry about memorizing all this. You can read it again anytime in your logbook. There's nothing super complicated about the concept of technologies. Once you have a race, you or a race have a check mark in your column on the tech progression screen. That's it. You know the technology and you get whatever benefits it confers. Okay, so for instance, we are the first one. We're the Hydrals. We have space power, subatomic theory, and these other guys have other stuff as well. So there are a lot of different kinds of technologies. Some benefit you, and those ones are grouped up at the top of each of the tech grid. These typically do things like increasing your hull strength, improving your science or manufacturing skills, etc. A lot of them have no direct benefit for you. You're not a planetary power, so you don't need things like safer nuclear power, for instance, but these technologies are of immense value to your allies and your enemies. So help your allies get what they need, and you'll be much closer to forming the Federation. Don't underestimate the power of science. If a race gets too far ahead in the number of techs they have learned, they can absolutely dominate enemy races that have larger fleets. This does take quite a while though, so having larger fleets in the meantime is a plus. Heh. So how do you fit in? Well, there are now research technology dispatch missions that you can take with most races. The time requirements on most technologies will be too steep for you to research them right now, but that's okay. Once you gain access to the black market, hiring scientist goons to help you in your work will bring even the most expensive tech within reach. Lastly, under hostile actions for each race, you can now raid for technology to steal what you need. To do this, you need to have an informant, which is your general link to the criminal underworld. Except the Andors or Thraxians, who have no criminals, for two different reasons. One is the hive mind, the Thoraxians. Think thorax, like an animal, like an insect. So these guys are like a hive mind, and these guys are a perfect utopia of robots. One way or another, you need to get techs. Okay, so that's the end of the mission. We took 5 turns. We didn't take any damage at all. We spent 3 seconds of relative time. We gained 5,000 credit, which seems like a lot to me right now, but maybe it's not. And that's that. So let's look around the map a little bit more. Is anyone else close to spacefaring anyway? It feels kind of gamey to give them spacefaring tech 3 seconds before they were going to do it anyway and still get full credit for it. But I like it. We're going to do it every time. So now, who do we want to improve relations with next? So these guys are at 69. These guys are at 38. I feel like really getting one place to like us a lot would be good. These guys have a population of 60 million. Okay. Disable stuff. Computer advisor. Computer advisor. Top 3 suggested allies that are not currently in the Federation. These are only suggestions that you may find have completely different preferences. Bear in mind, you can't really make an ally in a permanent sense outside of getting a race into the Federation. So until that becomes feasible, really what make an ally means is keep high influence with them so that you can add them to the Federation easily when the time is right. How do you keep high influence? Typically by doing friendly actions, political deals, and quests that benefit them. So apparently the Boreans would make a really good ally. And they're the ones that we didn't help out. Maybe we could go help them out now. We're negative 20 with them now. Let's go check them out. So we can click this friendly axe button. We could give them space tech. First off, let's hire a diplomat. Hiring a part-time mercenary diplomat to interact with this race on your behalf will make this race a lot more likely to reach out to you with quests. For any races that you particularly favor, who you want to run quests for, you should hire diplomats for them and fire any diplomats for races that interest you less. It won't guarantee that you only get quests for related to your favored races, but it dramatically increases the chances. So actually maybe we don't do that. Let's do planet details. Now how do we talk to them? We click on them? Is this really all that we can do right now? I feel like we should be able to do more. Is it just because they're not spacefaring? Okay, well let's go talk to the people that we just made spacefaring. The Thoraxians. Yeah, now we have more stuff. We've got friendly axe. We can do more stuff. Apparently we can't do much until they become spacefaring. The Thoraxians are overall very difficult to please, and there are comparably few political deals you can make with them. They are also somewhat capricious, though logic does largely drive their behavior. Periodic hormonal shifts in the queens as they go through their egg-laying cycles also plays a part. So we can try to do stuff. Prioritize the production of workers. Look, I don't care how big your mandibles are. Do you see how many freaking heads I have? I'm not sure exactly why I want there to be more hideous monstrosities in the solar system. But then again, people used to say that about my race. Let's just say it would be to our mutual best interest if you laid about twice as many eggs as usual. We can gain a little bit of influence and make them make more people. Costs us credit, but we can increase the population. Or is it population or just more workers? Let's learn about this one. So ground soldiers, ground troops. I think it would just increase the overall population. Well, I think I'm going to take a break here. Do let me know what you think we should do in the comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you soon. See you in a bit.